I felt like it was just a really low point after that trip. And that's when I made videos to my family, like goodbye videos, which was hard, and which I'm glad I did because I can look back at them and like, wow, I was in the point of saying bye to my kids and my husband. Um, so that was probably the lowest, is coming to terms having to make videos, goodbye videos to my kids. My name is Starr, and I'm 45 years old. I was diagnosed last year with colon cancer, stage 4, because it did metastasize to my liver and other locations. And I live here in Arizona. Most passionate is my kids. Just whatever they're into, that's what we're doing. So, whatever sports, school activities, just kind of our lives revolve around the kids, which is how it should be. I love it. I was having a little bit of abdominal pain, and I thought, okay, well, this just doesn't feel quite right. As soon as I got the abdominal pain, I was like, I'm going to urgent care. So it was like 2 days. So I'm glad I didn't waste time. I thought it was a UTI. I went to my primary. I got a scan, and it did show all these masses in my liver. And she wasn't too concerned because of my age, just being young, and I was healthy. So she wasn't really concerned. But I wanted to do a scan, something, CT or MRI or some PET scan, something. And she said, okay, well, to ease your mind, yes, of course, we'll do the scans. That's kind of a life-altering moment for sure. But, I went to my follow-up appointment to go over the scan with my doctor, and she said that, "I almost had your husband come in with you, for this to go over this," but because she personally knows my husband, but she almost had him come in, and, she said, "You need to go to the emergency room right now. I have someone there. They will meet you." So she got me right into the emergency room, set up with somebody, so I didn't have to wait. And then they did the biopsy there at the hospital, and I found out very quickly. It all happened really fast. The biopsy, and they said it's cancer in your liver, and it's not the primary location. It actually started somewhere. So that was all of a sudden, not only do you have cancer, but you have metastatic stage 4 cancer, and it didn't even start here. It's spread. It's in other locations in your body. So it was. I just remember being in the hospital, and thank goodness my friend was with me, and she's like, "I'm going to get your husband down here now. He's coming down," and it's very scary when you hear the words stage 4 terminal. That's like just out of body almost experience. My first oncologist was, just continue down with chemo. The surgery was like, let's not even talk about it because you're not there. You're not even close to there. Surgery is not an option now. Maybe it'll be down the road, but for now, it's in too many locations, and the masses, we need to get them down. We need to get the tumors down. So I did the intense chemo for 8 rounds. The biggest thing was the most intense fatigue that you can imagine. I mean, even just talking, I'm sitting there trying to talk to somebody, and it's just too much effort. Just, keeping my eyes open. It was like, this is just too much, like so much fatigue, nausea. I didn't want to eat. I lost a lot of weight, over 30 pounds, and I didn't have a ton to spare. Neuropathy in my feet. It's been yeah, it's still there. That could be permanent. So neuropathy in my feet is pretty intense. So I'm working on trying to fix that. But fatigue, nausea, the neuropathy. At one point, I had my skin peeling off my hands and my feet with one of the chemos that I was doing, which was, it didn't really hurt, but it was just really creepy to have just your skin just falling off your body. And then right now I've from the targeted therapy has been a red rash. The skin is not like it should be. So that was an ongoing one, all through my back, my face, my chest, my stomach, exhausted beyond belief. and I would do the chemo treatments. So it would be like a week of just down. I'm on the couch, I'm on the bed, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not doing anything, I'm not really eating from the nausea because if I eat, then I throw up. So I wanted to avoid that. And then after that week, and then I just start feeling better about, for myself, like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better, more normal. And then the second week would be closer to my life, but still tired and, all the things. But literally half the time it was just completely not there, just out of not living life, not living my life. And it was really, yeah, it was really hard. And for my kids to sit there and see mommy on the couch and like, okay, well, they're going to go out and play. And I can't even get up to, go out there and be with them. So, I was losing a lot of, time with them just because I just couldn't. So it was really intense chemo. It was 4 months total. I did eight rounds of that, and then after that point, that's when I switched oncologists. My original oncologist wanted to just continue, and what I kept on hearing from not just him, but when I went to my second opinion, and then it was the third, was this is the standard of care. You continue down chemo until it stops working, and then we switch. And to me, I just could not let that didn't sit right in my brain that so you want me to continue doing something that's like it feels like it's killing me, the chemo itself, until I met my current oncologist at City of Hope, Orange County, and he gave me information that I didn't even know about. Hey, your liver is enlarging because of the chemo. My oncologist never said that. When I went to a second opinion at MD Anderson, they gave me information that my oncologist hadn't told me either, like that it was also in my peritoneum and lymph nodes. And it's just the communication wasn't quite there with the first one. He recommended that I stop chemo. We tried targeted therapy, and that's what I did. And everything was changed after that. I would take 6 pills a day, three in the morning, three at night. And then the biggest thing was I would get infusions every other week. Every oncologist before was saying, surgery is not an option. Surgery is not an option. Continue down chemo. Surgery is not an option. And I had the surgery. I started with him the end of November of 2024, and I had my first surgery the end of January. So it was 2 months, just 2 months later, I was able to get in, do the first surgery, remove the colon, lymph nodes, left side of the liver, and then wait a couple months, 2 months to be exact, and then March of 2025 is when I had my second surgery, which took care of the right side of my liver. It actually had more tumors in it. And then they went in and got those out. But the amazing part is that in both surgeries, when they took out all of the cancer, it was between 95% and 100% dead already. So it was killed. And he's like, these numbers are like, I see numbers that are 10 to 30%, and these are just great numbers. And then the second surgery was 99 to 100% was dead. So the drugs, the therapy was working, and we just went in with the surgeries and got it out. I was there for 4 or 5 days. It was an intense surgery. Obviously, they did a lot, and I have the scar to prove it. I got my warrior scar. I deserve it. Luckily I had friends with me, my husband, kind of rotated because it was out of state. All of my care has been out of state. It's not like just, oh, go 15 minutes down the road to the hospital, the cancer center. It's, you got to drive hours or fly. But it was great to have, I need support from my husband, being in the hospital. That's not fun. A lot of people have had surgeries, but it was intense. It's the biggest surgery I've had, these two. I mean, to be cut open like that and have all that done to your body is a lot. So just recovery time was a lot of couch and bedtime. That's for sure. My kids made this big welcome home sign. Mostly my daughter did it, but my son had to jump in on that, like he helped. But yeah, they made this great sign. It was after my first surgery, and I got to come home. And then they were just standing there with the welcome sign. And that was really sweet. And, tears, of course. I recommend getting second, third opinions. Technically, I started with my small town oncologist. I was sure I wasn't going to stay here in a small town, and then went to San Diego, and then got another opinion in Texas, and then went back to California for the where I am now. So I absolutely get second opinions, get third opinions if you can. And plus, I called a bunch of other places that I never got in with because they were so far out. So I was looking in at other people calling, making other calls because I just it just didn't sit right. I think that I would have been doing chemo for that intense chemo for months, and who knows where that would have led me if it would have knocked me down so much that I couldn't recover to move on to the next thing, or maybe it just would have been yes, more chemo and months worth of that agony, and then he would have switched me to this other targeted therapy, and I could be end up in the same place. I don't know, but I do know that I would have wasted time. I did hire a cancer coach, didn't even know there was something called a cancer coach. And she was really, what she did was give me some she was giving me a lot of information of like, hey, do you want to travel to New York and get a third opinion? Do you want to go here and get it? And that helped me open my mind to, wow, I really don't have to just do what this one doctor in a lab coat says just because they're the doctor. Like, there's other options, and she's talking about all these things and possibly even other countries, and so she really opened my eyes to like there's different trials and things out there that we don't nobody's telling me, and that helped me be a little bit more courageous and open to the idea that hey, you don't have to just listen to yeah, you're doing chemo and it seems like the tumors are shrinking, that's great, but you don't have to listen to this one person. You can There's so many things that I didn't even know was out there. So she did open my eyes to that too, which was great. How much should we tell them? And to me, I wanted to be open because some people don't even talk about it, don't even want to open it up. But with my kids' ages, they were 9 and 11, and I wanted them to, know what was going on. Like, why is mommy on the couch all the time? Why I don't feel good? And they need to know that I need their help. So the main thing was, yes, I missed out on a lot of time. We would try to do things like around the couch or, maybe a puzzle or watch movies or try to do whatever activities we could. But, it was harder missing their like games um, and not being able to take them to school and having my husband do that and just missing out on feel like I didn't miss out on a lot, but I definitely missed out on things with the kids. But we did our best, and I made them into little runners. They would run and get mommy a blanket, or get mommy a pillow, or get mommy water, or get mommy food, or and they were great helpers. But I wanted to be as open and honest that I could, as much as the kids can understand, not terrify them because I was terrified that I was going to die. And, but so I didn't, I said, mommy's sick. And yes, people do die from cancer, but I don't think that's going to be me. The weight of when I initially got the diagnosis, stage 4 terminal, what does that mean? Am I going to beat this or not? That was really low. But when I came back from after going to Texas, and going to the number one cancer center supposedly in the United States after going and seeing that second opinion, and them saying, "Oh, we would do the same thing." I thought I'd walk away with like a magic pill, or they would have something for me, and they didn't have anything for me. And then I had learned that it was also in my lymph nodes, and if it's in your lymph nodes, I mean, you're done in my mind. Like that's how I didn't know enough that no, you're not, but that once it's in your lymph nodes, it could travel anywhere. And I felt like it was just a really low point after that trip. And that's when I made videos to my family, like goodbye videos which was hard, and which I'm glad I did because I can look back at them and like, wow, I was in the point of saying bye to my kids and my husband. And so that was probably the lowest, is coming to terms having to make videos, goodbye videos to my kids. And then, I'd want to, make the video, try actually put on makeup and do my hair so that it was a good video for them. Not just like mommy looks really sick and bad. And because I thought that they were going to have that forever. So making the videos was probably, that was the time when I was pretty low. Oh, my identity has, wow, it's changed immensely. Not only my lifestyle, starting with that, like the things that I eat, what I put in my body, what I put on my body, avoiding processed food, avoiding eating out a lot, cut out alcohol, have cut down on sugars and meat. So there's those aspects of like the what I've put in my mouth and on my body, changed, different products and stuff. But I mean, the biggest thing is, I mean, my outlook on life is completely different. When I was sitting there, just wanting to go outside and just sit outside, and I couldn't do that. So it's great that like I take every day like it's so precious. I want to squeeze so much out of every day that before it was like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. What's my to-do list? Got to go to work, got to get the kids to school, gotta check off that list. And then now it's, I get to take my kids to school. I get to go to work. I get to go to the grocery store. I get to watch a movie. I get to go outside and listen to birds and waste time. Or it's a lot of, I get to versus have to or got to. And so my biggest outlook is you don't know how long we're going to be here. And people say that all the time, but it doesn't sink in until you truly you're facing death. And this could all be over very soon is what was going through my mind. So when you have that, and then you just really just appreciate everything. And now I'm like, especially now being in remission, it's like I'm filling my calendar with all these places that I want to go, things I want to do, friends I haven't seen. I just am filling it up with things that I really want to do versus like, wow, why did I fill up my calendar with stuff I didn't really want to do or waste time doing that when I could have been just enjoying more time with my kids or my husband or just reading a book. Or I've gotten definitely more in touch with myself and emotions. And um, my whole identity has, I mean, not the whole identity, but it's really shifted to being grateful, taking care of my body, helping others. Now that's what I want to do, is pay it forward. And my outlook on life is so much better. I had a clear scan about my first scan after my second surgery, and it showed that they didn't see anything on there, which was amazing. It's funny because I didn't even let that enter my mind because I just was thinking, okay, well, we just want to see that the tumors are gone. But in my mind, that didn't equal like, wait a minute, so you could possibly be cancer free. Like I didn't let myself get the hopes up. I finally talked to my oncologist and he says that yes, we don't see anything, but we have to do these other blood work tests. We're going to send these two tests out. One came back, and I remember I was at SeaWorld with my family, and I got the email, and I'm like, should I open it now? Because this could be good or bad. And in my mind, I was like, okay, I think it's going to be good, but either way, I want the information. I'm doing well, and I think it's going to be good, whatever. So it did come back, and I just looked at it and I saw the number 0, circulating tumors with the green. And that was really like my moment of like, wow, I think I'm in remission. I think that there's no cancer. So it was kind of fun to be like at SeaWorld with my family and learn that. And then I had my appointment the following week. And then I was like, can I say I'm in remission? And he said, yes. So it was, so I kind of knew it a little bit, as slowly. It wasn't like just boom, you're in remission in a moment and you faint or like scream or something. But it was definitely wonderful to get those words out of his mouth and then to share it and, to share with everybody. I immediately, called my husband and a couple of close friends, sent it to my girlfriend's Starr squad, or yeah, that I have. Those girls, I have a text with the girls that have been kind of helping me through this and take care of me and help me out. Let them know, and then I'm like, I'm going to put it on Instagram and put it out there, tell the world because this is great news and it's still sinking in. But yeah, it's amazing. Husband, kids, they're the reason why I'm here because I fought so hard for them. Like I wanted to see my kids grow up. I want to see them grow up. I want to experience all that, and it's wonderful now that I was in the mindset for a while that I'm not going to see them even drive or go to their first dance or first kiss or I mean, just all the little things that I didn't know if I was going to see that. And I believe that I will now. But I had my Star Squad, the smaller group, 12 women who we were on a group text. And it was like, okay, who's going with Star to this treatment? Who's going to, I'm going to drop off some food. Do you need help with the kids? Words of encouragement. So I was on that small, just like group text. Um, and then of course of that, out of that, I had, two or three friends that were just there every single day, how constantly checking in on me, showing up, even, I didn't even being there when I didn't know I needed them, talking through things and just having that girlfriend connection that you need. So not only taking care of me physically and all the things that I need, but mentally, it was to just let emotions out because I think that's also a big part of I think my healing experience was not only the doctors gave me all these great drugs and therapies and chemo and all that. There's a whole other aspect to it of emotional, like suppressed emotions, and you got to get things out. And so it was good to have girlfriends where I can say I think I'm going to die and have a conversation, a real conversation with like, well, I'm going to be there for your kids when you're gone, things like that. So it was great that to have their support. Nourish your body as a whole, not just physical, but then also emotional, spiritual, mental. It's mental is your outlook. Oh my gosh, that could be half the battle right there. If somebody is, well, I got stage 4 terminal cancer. I'm not going to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it. It's, if you're just down, and not to say I did get in that mental space, of course, at some portions throughout this, but I've tried to stay as positive as possible. And I think that really, really helps. And seeing, like in these books, is specifically about spontaneous remission. And really, if they can do it, I can do it. So seeing somebody who was literally put on hospice and they're going to die in a week or two, and they don't, and they're still living many years later. People need to hear that. Just because you're given this diagnosis doesn't mean that you're going to die. You can beat it. You can live a much longer life than what the doctor said. You're your own statistic. You are your own person. You can really do a lot of things in your life rather than, just the, okay, chemo, radiation, that, or even just food supplements that you're putting in your body. There's more that you can do. And I want people to know that you can empower yourself. You can really change the odds. Those stats in my mind went from, oh, you have a 15% chance to live to 85 or 90. I expect to be here in 5 years. I really, with the mindset and the changes that I made, I want people to know that it's not a death sentence. People are getting cancers younger and younger. I mean, and I want people to know, even though you're young and you think you're healthy, and that's what I thought I was. I drank the green drinks. I exercised. I kept my body weight like fine. And I thought I was healthy. And wow, the cancer made me really look at my life and say, you've got a lot of things out of imbalance and maybe you should address those because cancer is your wake up call of Let's not focus on, you have cancer. Why did you get the cancer? Like, what are things that you can change in your life, to not only, beat the cancer, to get it, go in remission. Is now my goal is to stay in remission, to not let it come back. And so I need to keep up on, well, let's take care of, let's really nourish our bodies in multiple ways. People using the word, throwing out the word survivor, warrior, thriver. And at first it was like, kind of like uncomfortable. No, yes, I am a survivor, I am a warrior, and I am a thriver. And I'm proud of that, because I've been through a lot. You really can do it, and you can be a survivor, a thriver, a warrior. And in the meantime, just live your life. Like, live, just live.